Rating like it's 1999, why Daybreak thinks new players will try a 27-year-old MMO. This is a gamesindustry.biz article that I found. It was published March 30th, so quite a while ago, but I haven't seen it talked about anywhere else. So I want to go through it today because it has some real gems in there that gives us some insight about EverQuest Legends. So let's just get right into it. This is a relatively long article. I'm not going to read it all to you. I will put a link in the description if you want to read it for yourself. But there were a few things that popped up I felt were very interesting. So the first one is about how did EverQuest Legends come to be? If you watch my last video, I had a supposition that it happened through the legal department, and I think this validates that idea. So in this article, David Youssefi is interviewed. He is Sisyphus, who is the executive producer on the Daybreak side of things. And he says, we've had an understanding with Sean, Project 1999, Rogan, who's one of the engineers on this project, and we have the same understanding with Eda, who is Secrets, with respect to their fan servers. We knew that they're out there and that they love the game so much and that they have so much talent and passion that they actually run and build these private servers. The idea was that because they had that passion, the expertise, and the talent to do all these things, I bet they could be a great development team. And so I wanted to put this out there, not just to pat myself on the back, but to also point out, because I've seen some conspiracy theory stuff go around about who instigated what. It really does appear that Daybreak Games had this idea, likely from their pursuit of shutting down the hero's journey through those legal avenues, that they should try to capitalize on some of this nostalgia hype that exists. So Daybreak Games, at least according to this article, as quoted, were the ones who reached out and got this project going by getting the right people in the right room. Next up, there's an interesting part about what they think the target market is for EverQuest Legends. And here's the quote, "But who is the exact market for EverQuest Legends?" Youssefi explains that they're aiming to appeal to two groups: those who played the original but couldn't keep up with it because it was such a hardcore game. I'd put myself into that category. I never was a raider. Raiding never appealed to me, but I always wanted to check out and do all of those zones. I wanted to check out Vishen's Peak one day, but just the keying process and getting in there and being able to kill anything, it never happened. And then they say they also want to appeal to new players who have heard of EverQuest but thought it was too daunting. And I'm sure there's a lot of those people out there as well too, perhaps friends of people who played EverQuest and they want to reach out and get those people to participate. Nothing crazy here, but I thought it was worth calling out. What is kind of crazy is later on in this article, there's this quote where it says, "I think there are a lot of people who are attracted to old school graphics and old school gameplay. There's a market out there, and I think that even younger players and newer gamers like this kind of experience. And for them, it's not really the graphic fidelity that makes the game fun or immersive, it's the game itself. And sometimes these graphics are even more immersive and more fun." This is Sisyphus, again, talking about a potential audience of new players. And in this case, he's suggesting that there could be an appeal to Gen Alpha or even Gen Z. I think that's a stretch. I think he knows that too. Next up, Secrets highlights that this old school approach is accessible to players that don't have high-end PCs, especially overseas. So it sounds like there is a possible appeal here to the Chinese market. I have seen on the emulated servers, I believe it's a Chinese server, where there is a large population of players that play all the time. I have no idea if this is people botting, tons and tons of accounts or what the story is. I never logged in and I don't speak Chinese, so I can't fact check this in any way. But Secrets continues on and says, "We think that it's going to help its broader appeal. I do think there's an untapped market for that." I don't know if EverQuest was actually ever released into China, and I don't know if this explicitly will be released into China, but the Chinese market for gaming in general is huge and has huge upside. So maybe they're going to publish a secondary version with a different publisher in China. And that would certainly unlock a lot of revenue for this title and a lot of longevity for this title if they were able to pull that off. But I have no idea if that's what this very short quote is hinting at or not hinting at. I will say there was a lot of discussion on Discord where people are saying, "Hey, I'm going to go buy a new PC to play EverQuest Legends." It really appears that that's not necessary. If you're watching this video, you're probably good to go. If you're watching this on a PC, that is. Okay, next up. This is just a quote where I think it really highlights that Daybreak needed some new blood. So this is again from Sisyphus. He says, "As Eda, Secrets, and her team would go through the code, they would discover, oh, maybe there's a call out to a spell effect, but there's no actual spell effect. Where could that be? And so they would work with us and we would dig through old assets, old CDs, trying to either find the code or the assets. It's kind of incredible that it took 27 years for someone to decide to kind of open up a drawer or go look around in the closets at Daybreak Games to try to unearth this gem that they had. They've been doing these progression servers for so long, and it doesn't seem like anyone was extremely motivated enough to go and try to solve hard problems. So it's good that there were external developers brought on board with new energy to make EverQuest Legends possible. Next up, I've seen some people suggest that it's going to cost a lot less to run EverQuest in 2026 than it did to run EverQuest in 1999. According to Daybreak Games, at least, that's not true. The author of this article asked, because EverQuest Legends is a reimagining of an older game, does Daybreak anticipate the running costs are going to be lower, or is it just as expensive to run a retro service game? And Sisyphus says, it depends on the audience size, but he believes it will be on par with the original EverQuest. And what he's saying is the costs will be on par with the original EverQuest, not the reach or anything else. And so I think that's important as it blends into the next thing that I want to hit on, which is a confirmation of the classic subscription model. So it says there will be a live service aspect to EverQuest Legends, which uses a monthly subscription business model. It will not be free to play. Players can purchase the base game, which will include a 1-month subscription, followed by a recurring subscription, which follows the original EverQuest model. We've obviously got all of the normal costs, so it will be roughly akin to all of our other games at Daybreak. All we do is big MMOs, so we know how to do it. So this appears to me to very clearly suggest that the subscription cost will be something around what it costs to subscribe to EverQuest today. Maybe since it's only a single game and not all access, it'll be slightly less, which has been hinted at. So, nothing particularly new here, but some more details. There's also confirmation, slightly just up here, that they will be selling expansions and adding ongoing new content. To be expected, at least for me, but I know some people have had thoughts about this, that you will need to buy Cunark when it comes out. And speaking of Cunark, how long of a leash does EverQuest Legends have? Like, how long are they going to give it to succeed? And the answer is right here. Based on the data we have right now, we think it will be successful enough to at least take it into the first expansion near the end of the year. And then after that, of course, we hope it continues on. So it has about a 6-month runway, again, leading right up to that investor call that they're going to have in Q1 of 2027. And they have committed to at least the first expansion. Overall, I would say we all have to vote with our wallets here. If you are interested in EverQuest Legends, I'm interested. I'm going to buy the game and play it. Hopefully it draws me in and it earns my subscription month after month. There has been some comments by Secrets on the Discord that they plan to continually roll out content to continue to earn that subscription month after month. So yeah. And one other thing that I found, this is pure speculation here, but one of the people who is in the beta posted this Imgur link, which had a screenshot of when they were registering, I guess, for the beta. And here's the EverQuest Legends game. The assets are all broken, classic, but it has a $10 price tag here. Is it going to be $10? Who knows? This could totally just be placeholder, but I think it's interesting and something I wanted to share. A $10 box fee, I don't think is going to put most people out in 2026. But yeah, that is what I have for you today. I hope you found it interesting. Short video, but something I wanted to get out there as I hadn't seen it discussed yet. Again, as always, if you like this content, please subscribe, hit the like button, and I will see you in the next one.